is in Zion.
As it is in Zion.
Endure with us thy wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to do thy will.
Do thy will, Father.
Thy blessing to us, and the hungry be fed,
Hungry be fed.
naked clothed,
The naked clothed.
sick nourished,
The sick nourished.
age protected,
Age protected.
the infants cared for. Deliver us from the hands of our enemies,
Our enemies were
that we may prove fruitful in the last days.
proving thyself unto you.
When our enemies are past and decayed,
Enemies are past and decayed.
the depths of the sea,
The depths of the sea.
depths of the earth,
In the depths of the earth.
or in the belly of a beast.
In the belly of a beast.
Why,
So we are saying, oh, Ethiopia,
oh, give us all a place in thy kingdom, oh Jehovah God.
mighty God, oh God,
God of Abraham,
God of Abraham,
God of Isaac,
God of Isaac,
God of Jacob.
God of Jacob.
Why, come on, village. We take this hour to the village. God must take time with me, sir. And the first thing I do is, sir, I have enough experience. But an heritage. I do this a production to judge a heritage.
This is Kyrie FM. We lead and others follow. 93.1, this is the People Station. From the streets to the top of the buildings, we control Dominica.
The spiciest talk show on radio, Hot Topics, is here to fire up your airwaves. Join us on Kyrie FM, Kyrie TV, and on Facebook Live, Monday to Wednesday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. with the bold and opinionated Vanessa as we turn up the heat. We'll ask the hard-hitting questions plaguing us every day. We'll talk about issues affecting our daily lives. You want to vent? Call. Get it off your chest. And guess what? A guest host will pop in randomly every week. You too could be a guest host. Yes, follow Kyrie FM's Facebook and get an opportunity to bring the heat to co-host Hot Topics. Don't wait. Tune in and tell it like it is, only on the genuine sound, Kyrie FM.
As man, you don't know the voice of Superlang represent for Hot Topics live on Kyrie FM from 2 to 3, Monday to Wednesday. So make sure you stay locked in, you know.
As man.
Whoa! It's about Guadaji Messi, that's me, and you're locked into Hot Topics on Kyrie FM. With me up.
Sycamore.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What's going on? What's crack-a-lacking? How you guys doing this afternoon? Absolute pleasure to be here with you today. All right. How was your last night and how was your this morning? I'm not going to tell you about mine because it wasn't pretty. It was okay, but it wasn't pretty. So, yeah, it was. And besides, I didn't even have coffee. Like, I went in to do coffee this morning and I was like, how did that happen? But anyways, I had a substitute for the coffee, so yeah, not always the healthiest choice, but you know. Fireman, good afternoon to you. No, it was not the winter vegetable, it was the summer grass. So yeah, want to say hi to all the folks locked in on the frequencies on Facebook Live. Good afternoon to you. How you guys doing? Want to shout out the folks who are celebrating birthdays today. My doodoo darling Joanne Commodore, it's your big day today. Happy birthday to you. To my buddy over in Guadeloupe, DJ Patrice Palmont. Bon anniversaire. Hope you're having a great day today. Want to shout out my Kuzo Cletus Banis, who's celebrating today. Happy birthday to you. Shout out goes out to Tanya Benjamin. It's your big day. All right, happy birthday. All the other folks, if I didn't call your name, maybe you weren't on my list. So next time, find yourself on my list so I can call your name on the People in Radio. All right, so happy birthday to all the folks celebrating today. Much love. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary. If it's your friend-anniversary, whatever anniversary you have, okay? Happy one to you. Want to shout out all the truckers, all the heavy equipment operators, all the bus drivers, and the taxi drivers. Good afternoon to you. The bike riders, good afternoon. All right, shout out to NIR. Good afternoon goes out as well to all the folks at the various hospitals across the island. Okay, in Portsmouth, in Marigot, in Goodwill. Wishing you a full recovery. To those of you working hard to ensure that those who are not very well are getting much better. Good afternoon to you as well. All right, want to shout out the students who are maybe on a little break today from the CSEC exams, you know, or maybe you're just getting home, or maybe you are in the middle of an exam. If you're in the middle of the exam, you're not going to hear me, but maybe when you come on and check out this seed afterwards, you will see that you got a shout out. All right, so the students doing their CSEC exams, good afternoon to you. Big shout out to you. All right, remember, your best is what counts, so keep working at that. All right, so we started a little later than we planned because, you know, things happen, but yes, life goes on. So let's see who we have on the live with us. Who do we have on the live with us this afternoon, Tech? I don't know yet, you know. Let me see if I can find them. But I know Paula is toujours là. I know Marina is always there. I know Astrid is always there. So those on the live, again, good afternoon to you. Much love. Tessa Jones, good afternoon, baby. Saying hi to let me see. Billy Doctorov, good afternoon, darling. Good afternoon, Antonilla. And saying a big shout out to Patsy down there in Kinfield. Good afternoon, baby. Hope everything is going well. All right, we're gonna take a little pause. We're gonna take a little walk and go and check out our sponsors. All right, our sponsors and partners. When we come back, I'll introduce my guest who's in studio with me. And yeah, I hope Paula do come today now, because Paula not going to stop. Tech Paula is not going to stop. You're gonna be in trouble today if Paula is there. But anyways, we'll be right back after these messages. Keep it locked.
Get super tech for a super mom tech. Technology that's got mom's backs at Radio Shack. A wide array of the devices and gadgets to make her life super this Mother's Day. Get 25% off any purchase of 2 or more items for mom at Radio Shack. Choose from portable audio equipment, earplugs and headphones, smart devices and more. Shop today and pay us later with Ready Finance. It's super tech for super mom at Radio Shack. Offer ends May 31st, 2025.
Contact Kyrie FM for the best in LED digital billboard advertising. Advertise your event, promote your business, launch a product, or make a major announcement on our state-of-the-art LED billboards, guaranteed to reach a wide audience. Call our office on 448-7330 for the best package to suit your needs. Get with the program. Let's help you go digital with our LED digital billboard advertising.
Print City. Modern, creative, exciting. from various heat press options to detail embroidery. With years of experience in photography and design, get full-on branding deals, t-shirts and banner printings, logos, graphics and designs, along with additional social media services. Located at 42 Independence Street, Roseau Dominica, downstairs, Kyrie FM. Call 617-2916 or printcitydominica@gmail.com.
Looking for that perfect setup for your conference, a seminar, or company function? Or maybe you need a low-budget setup for your party, dinner, or private gathering. How about that professional production for your grand concert, festival, or outdoor event? Kyrie Sounds is here to provide you with everything you need. PA systems, stage, lighting, tents, microphones, LED digital screens, generators, projectors, crowd barriers, and more. We also offer free event consultation to ensure the success of your special event. Call us today on 612-4050 or 448-7330. Kyrie Sounds, your partner in sound, stage, and lighting services.
When you want the best, what you do? Shop at SES. Better than the rest. Shop at SES. And they all confess. Shop at SES. You get more for what less. They say. Shop at SES. Shop at SES. Yeah. Shop at SES. Shop at SES. What they say. Shop at SES. SES family, customer friendly. With free locations, it's so convenient. And our prices, they are the nicest. Madame et monsieur, that's where you belong. So tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at SES. Tell your son and your daughter, shop at SES. Auntie, nene, and cousin, friend, Pope, power, all of them. Grandma, grandpa, Pope, neighbor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side. What? Shop at SES. Shop at SES. Oh yes. Shop at SES. Tell them. Shop at SES. Check us out at Pottersville, High Street, and downtown Roseau.
Oh, I have a container on the port. I need to take it to La Plaine. I'm looking for an apartment to rent. Yo, I need a boat for the weekend on the water. Who can I call? Ada Trucking, of course. Here's the number, 449-2817. Ada Trucking Services Limited, located at Hartford Estate, Jimmy, Dominica, provides efficient, quality trucking and excavating services with over 25 years' experience. Our services include container haulage and lifting, excavation and demolition, as well as trucking. Looking to rent compactors, rollers, generators, bulldozers, or graders? Check us out. We also offer home and apartment rentals, boat rentals, and our 69-seater party bus. Be it work, housing, or party, contact Ada Trucking Services. Visit us today or call 449-2817. Reach us via email, adatrucking@hotmail.com, or like our Facebook page, Ada Trucking Services. Ada Trucking, the godfather of trucking services in Dominica. All right, welcome back. And if you're just joining, welcome aboard. If you've been with us, thank you for staying with us. If you've been sharing. So in studio with us this afternoon is Kenty BNC. Good afternoon, Kenty. How you doing?
Good afternoon, Vanessa. How are you doing?
I'm well. I'm good.
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty
Yeah.
good. I'm pretty good.
Like they say, I've had better days, but hey, it's a beautiful day, and you're right here in studio
Yeah,
with
but all
me,
we
so
have
it's
is
a
now.
great day.
All we have is now, so we're giving thanks for life.
Definitely.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me, you and your fans and all the listeners.
Mhm.
You know, we would not be what we are without all the listeners and the people who support us daily.
Definitely.
So it's really good to be here. It's good to be home, actually.
Of
It's
course,
good
of
to
course.
be
I mean,
home.
you spend your days on the seas.
I spend my days abroad. Yes. Not always on the seas.
Not always
but
on the
abroad,
seas, but yes. All right, good.
So it's good to be back home.
All right, and I now our topic this afternoon is speaking out against child sexual abuse. And one may say, what is an artist? What does an artist have to say about that? But there's a lot he can say, and I know that your grandpa gives you a lot of good chats and inspirations that you can share with us.
He's not one to play around when it comes to that. Kids are kids. Kids
Right.
supposed to be kids, and you have to let the kids grow up. Let them give them time, let them grow. Unfortunately, some people they don't want to give them kids time to grow. And somebody might say, what an artist, what that have to do as an artist. But even in the artists, in the industry, you find a lot of the youth gravitate towards artists. And even the artists have to be more careful when it comes to that type of thing, because, kids today is not like kids back in the day. Back in the day, we didn't have all that fast food and, all that grease, in our stuff. So people was more lean.
Okay, let's just say we didn't have grain mash.
We didn't have
grain mash.
So
we
people,
had food.
If you look at how folks used to be back in the day, it was more lean, and nowadays with all that fast food, kids tend to look much older than they actually are. So even the artists have to be cautious about that.
That is true, because I mean, there are the groupies that might come around, and you might figure, hey, because she looks so, and breasts are full, and backside full, and hips are full, then she is 19, 20, 21.
Yes. So this is basically, one might say what I have to do with an artist, but this is actually to raise awareness to the artists that they need to be cautious about the people that come up to them, that follow them, because sometimes, in the music industry, anything can happen.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, you have to protect yourself as an artist, individual.
Definitely.
And these kids, some of them, they are very vulnerable, and they will do what is necessary, whatever it takes, basically, for them to get the attention that they doesn't get at home.
Right.
That doesn't give anybody the right to take advantage of that vulnerability.
Now you find that a lot of it. Okay, so we were hearing talk. I heard a government minister mention that the rape cases have gone down and the abuse cases have gone down, but I honestly don't believe. And I was like, jail go over, because I'm like, okay, even if not hearing about it doesn't mean that it has gone down. And I think the whole issue of victim blaming has a lot to do with people not coming out and speaking up, or children not coming out and speaking up again about what happened to them.
Right.
Because, I mean, you mentioned that you've been raped, that you've been sexually abused, and all of a sudden you have this big sticker on your back, right?
Yes.
You're stigmatized,
Yes.
This, the name calling starts, and then it spreads onto the family. So families tend to try to keep that quiet and not say anything, not report it. Sometimes it gets to court, and next thing you know, there's nothing happening again. Court cases dropped. Why? There was a settlement, but like they say, si pani suti way pani vole.
Si pani suti way pani vole. Sadly, in some homes you will find where you find there are less fortunate people, especially if that predator is providing certain things to that particular home. You find, sadly, some parents even silence their kids, and it is very sad. It's very sad, because you can sell your child. I mean, that's who does that?
I mean, who does that? Well, a lot of people do that.
Sadly,
a lot of people do that, and I think it has to do. I think it has to do with education as well, because and what people perceive to be the norm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because growing up, you would say, and I'm going to tell you that little bit there from stories that my grandmother would tell me, because I would hear her say certain things, and I would ask her. I would have heard some terms like sui jetty, and so I asked her a question. You understand what I mean? So just tell me, well, how it used to be before. Maybe this young woman goes out, she meets a guy, they end up in a relationship, but relationships, not all of them last forever, so they're together. But anyways, he breaks up, and at those times they break up, and at those times is the man now was the breadwinner. The woman had to stay home and take care of the children, take care of the house and everything and all of that, and go market, and so the man would bring home the bacon. That man leaves her now. She has that child, maybe 2 already.
Right.
So she finds another man to take care of her and those 2 children, and that other man now gives her another 2 and moves along, and then the cycle continues.
Right.
The children growing up are not. It's not properly explained to them what is going on and what not, because of those days women were dependent on their men.
Right.
Women were not independent. So therefore, the abuse would continue, because guess what? I already have 4 maybe 5 of them by now. Who else are going to get, to use their term, live in where they got? Get what I'm saying? So the children are seeing that and they figure, well, that's how things are supposed to be.
Right.
You know? So the man would come, the new man would come, bring you a little 200. This is my grandmother's words, eh? They wish in banan, kati dashin, te toi ti bon so 12 dino, ti bon so 12 jega, you know? And you figure, well, that's the best thing ever. Because you have that nice 12 dino for you to go church on Sunday, and you have the 12 jega for you to stay home in the week. So, you know, you can make 2 free dresses if what he bring for you, a little mushwe. You're good. So that became the thing. So whether or not the man was bossing your ass, whether or not he was feeding you and treating you like a princess, this is what the children are seeing, and they figure it's okay. You know, until now, when, as we can see, latte clearway, and people are beginning to understand, and people are beginning to talk about abuse. But guess what? It has been ingrained in us so much, in both the men and the women, that it is hard to break away from the norm.
True, and even in situations like that, what you just explained, you have where sometimes that guy that bringing the 2 Asian banan is a predator.
Yeah.
And the 2 Asian banan is really just to butter the foot of the mother.
Right.
Because I'll tell you something, some parents need to be very cautious as to the men they let into their household, because
So true.
plenty of those men, they don't care about the parent, you know.
No.
Especially if your daughter is, you know, just growing into her body start forming and that type of thing. Them parents, they need to start to ask themselves questions about, what is it about me that man really coming at my own and do? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people need to be cautious as to parents need to be, don't be so days-only to get a man.
Thank you.
Because you have to look out for your daughters first. And plenty of those men, they come in your house, you feeling like it's you, them man.
Yeah.
But they're really looking at your thing. So people need to be very cautious as to the people they let into their mothers, especially single parents, single mother.
I used to have my friends come over my house, and let me tell you something. None of my friends are like, you cannot put your hand in fire for people.
Don't.
But none of my friends are like the type that would, and they all have daughters. Again, you still cannot make that, but I'm just saying. But when I realized that my last daughter was home with me, my son, I realized, okay, body's changing. Okay, that's it.
Right.
I say, guys, let me tell you all something. I'm not saying that you are this, that, or whatever. They tell me Vanessa, we fully understand.
Of course.
So all the lime at my home stop.
Of course. You have to protect yourself and your family first.
Yeah.
First, especially these kids, because a lot of times these things are happening and the parents have no idea.
Exactly.
And the child is afraid to say certain things because of what the person might say to them. And the sad thing about those men, what I don't understand, Vanessa, I'll tell you something. Those men, all you know is a minor. Why all you fake? All you're not going to get caught. It's like from the history of people being in those type of minor things, everybody getting caught. What make you think? What make you feel like you're so special?
I don't know. Maybe they drank a special tea.
Did
you see when they when they sweeten the tea, it had that 1 grain of brown sugar. But I mean, even Achilles had a weak spot.
Let me tell you something. Men, once the person child is a minor, back off.
Let's jump into this minor story now. Because I heard an argument. I sit down, you know, I like to sit down around those little cabaret and talk to those fellas and get a little sipsy or a little beer and thing. So I sit down there and we're in a little convo, we're in a little powell, not a cabaret, but it's a little roadside bar. We're in a little powell. I don't really into it with them, you know. So then the guy said, but what you going and do behind a 16-year-old? The other one said, but 16 years is age of consent. Boy, I just heard like a clap of thunder. Because the one that asked what a man going after a 16-year-old for, and slapped the one who said 16 years is age of consent. I want to tell you, slap fall down, Bazuli pass out, you know.
Funny.
Because the man said, look, I have a 16-year-old daughter, I have a 15-year-old daughter.
Man, that's crazy.
I have a 13-year-old daughter, so what are you trying to tell me? And there's the other nastiness with these guys I cannot understand. This escamote I cannot understand. They would have known you as a child. Right?
Right.
And they see you adult now. Boy, since you go in school, I watching you. Like that is supposed to sound good to the
Let me
woman.
tell you something. I don't know what kind of kakuti them man will be drinking in their life. But them man,
They're not kakuti, no, because
them
I drink in kakuti every day. They're not
the
kakuti.
kakuti has something in it. That I don't know what kind of kaku tree they make those kaku from there.
Hey.
But let me tell you something. I feel like people need to start to ask themselves a question. First of all, what kind of conversation can you have? If you're going to try to pursue somebody apart from the physical aspect, there's got to be some type of conversation that you want to have with somebody that can either edify both of you.
Right.
What kind of conversation can you have with a 16-year-old?
What she had in math class, what her little friend tell the other little friend. That one got a detention, that one pulled that one here. What this snack lady had for recess. Yes. I mean, seriously, tell me, what kind of conversation can you really
sad.
have?
It's very sad. I mean, and I think, man, you know what I think? I definitely think that we need to enforce certain laws that would put these laws, enforce these laws, because I think we have laws in place. We have the laws in place for these things.
And there's been new legislature, it's been reviewed and revamped.
Right, so we definitely need to enforce these laws that would prevent, because if there is no penalty, then people do things, get away with people think they can get away with murder.
Right.
If you enforce these laws, where if you tamper with a minor, this is what's going to happen. Right. No if, no but, no maybe.
But you see, the thing is, everybody have an auntie who has a nenen, who has a pawe, who has a, you know what I mean, grandmother, auntie, child twice removed. Everybody has a something in a somewhere position, and that one will say, oh, it's you, and because it's you, and.
But for those who will get caught, let them serve
that is the thing.
Let them get the penalty.
I honestly think that if that is the case, and you have that auntie and pawe child that is shielding you from receiving the due punishment,
right?
You, that auntie and pawe child, and everybody else who was sitting in the background should receive due punishment as well.
Indeed, I agree.
And I think the parents especially, right, those who accept the out-of-court settlements, the hush monies, they should be penalized as well.
Most definitely.
Because some of them, they force the children to say, if you see, when you go inside, they don't say nothing.
You see that?
I was counseling a young girl, and she said that to me. I'm not counseling, I'm not a certified counselor, but they gravitate towards me.
Right.
I talk with them.
Right.
You know? And I was speaking with her, and she said, her mother told her, she said, nothing is me and you. You'll see what I'll do you.
Boy, them mothers, they're not easy. What she getting, a 50 cents she getting from the person? So I don't understand, because at the end of the day, this is your child. That child is going to be the future, leaders. We're going to be, you guys going to be the future. Don't let no man, if a man that can be your father, your grandfather, come in your ears and talking to you while you're still in school, man, by right, you're supposed to go. If you feel uncomfortable talking to the teacher or whatever the case may be, go to the police.
Yeah.
But sadly, some of those police, they it's the same thing. We don't even want to go into that. We have time to go in that.
We have plenty time, but we have to go for recess first. It's already 2:30, so we're going for recess. It's break time. What you have for recess this afternoon?
Yeah, coffee. I had this.
I have mince and water salad. So it's break time. We'll be right back after these messages. Keep it locked.
Get super tech for a super mom tech. Technology that's got mom's backs at Radio Shack. A wide array of the devices and gadgets to make her life super this Mother's Day. Get 25% off any purchase of 2 or more items for mom at Radio Shack. Choose from portable audio equipment, earplugs and headphones, smart devices and more. Shop today and pay us later with Ready Finance. It's super tech for super mom at Radio Shack. Offer ends May 31st, 2025.
Looking for that perfect setup for your conference, a seminar, or company function? Or maybe you need a low-budget setup for your party, dinner, or private gathering. How about that professional production for your grand concert, festival, or outdoor event? Kyrie Sounds is here to provide you with everything you need. PA systems, stage, lighting, tents, microphones, LED digital screens, generators, projectors, crowd barriers, and more. We also offer free event consultation, to ensure the success of your special event. Call us today on 612-4050 or 448-7330. Kyrie Sounds, your partner in sound, stage, and lighting services. Contact Kyrie FM for the best in LED digital billboard advertising. Advertise your event, promote your business, launch a product, or make a major announcement on our state-of-the-art LED billboards, guaranteed to reach a wide audience. Call our office on 448-7330 for the best package to suit your needs. Get with the program. Let's help you go digital with our LED digital billboard advertising.
All you where in Roseau, Kimashadis, you can just walk in and order all your chicken parts, wholesale, and even enjoy retail. It's at AC Shillingford. All chicken parts available that you can afford. Fresh breast, and you know breast is best. Shillingford wings have muscle. After you eat it, you can fly. As for Shillingford chicken drumsticks, even swinging stars just order drumsticks from Shillingford. And for those of you who love pull, AC Shillingford keeps your belly full. Buy your chicken wholesale at AC Shillingford. From wings to thighs to drums to breasts to backs to necks, it's available. It's always available and it's affordable. Plus you got pork feet, ham and turkey, bull foot, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, all those right seasonings to make your kitchen keep on ticking. Buy your wholesale chicken at AC Shillingford. When you think of chicken, think of AC Shillingford. Always fresh.
Oh, I have a container on the boat. I need to take it to La Plaine. I'm looking for an apartment to rent. Yo, I need a boat for the weekend on the water. Who can I call? Ada Trucking, of course. Here's the number, 449-2817. Ada Trucking Services Limited, located at Hartford Estate, Jimmy, Dominica, provides efficient, quality trucking and excavating services with over 25 years experience. Our services include container haulage and lifting, excavation and demolition, as well as trucking. Looking to rent compactors, rollers, generators, bulldozers, or graders? Check us out. We also offer home and apartment rentals, boat rentals, and our 69-seater party bus. Be it work, housing, or party, contact Ada Trucking Services. Visit us today or call 449-2817. Reach us via email, adatrucking@hotmail.com, or like our Facebook page, Ada Trucking Services. Ada Trucking, the godfather of trucking services in Dominica. Welcome back. If you're just joining, welcome aboard. This is your Hot Topics, your Tell It Like It Is show. I'm Vanessa, and with me is Kenty BNC. All right, Kenty, welcome back. So, during the break, we had our own little show, you know?
Right.
Yes. So, we were talking about, you know, like the guys who, well, I suggested to you that it's a lack of respect, but you were talking about the young ladies wearing less revealing clothes.
I think modesty have a lot to do with if a young man is not trained is badly brought up.
Mm-hmm.
If a young man is of equality,
Mm-hmm.
of course,
Yeah.
that's our term, right?
Right.
Obviously, you dress inappropriately,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to face some type of, like we were saying,
Mm-hmm.
some type of harassment.
Mm-hmm.
So to avoid certain harassments, for example, we draw the example of you have your nipple piercing.
Yeah.
You don't have no bra underneath your shirt tight.
No, if you're
like
tight
latex.
white t-shirt.
Hmm?
Your tight white t-shirt.
t-shirt with your two piercing in your thing.
Yeah.
Now, somebody else might just glance and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody else going to walk up to you and try to be like,
Yes.
they're going to actually
Say something.
that in relation to that, and because it's not everybody that know how to just mind their business.
Right.
In other words.
Right.
So, but
And then some people now would tend to take that as, okay, so it's like for the guy, it's like a compliment. For the girl, it's like the best thing ever somebody could have said to her.
well, some guys they don't compliment. Some guys just
Some of them are genuinely complimenting. Some of them are just making a comment, like throwing the line out there and hoping a fish will bite.
right.
All right?
But modesty, I think modesty is definitely. I mean, how can you dress your 8-year-old with a short thing underneath her thing, her stomach outside, the short little skirt with
I
thing.
mean-
8-year-old, dress the child like a child.
You're not going to the beach. If you go
Right,
to the
right,
beach
you
and you
know.
have a swimsuit on, and that's the thing. That's a justification that some people tend to use. If I'm on the beach, I can wear that. I would say, well, you're not on the beach. Now
Right.
with me, I like short clothes. I love short clothes. Okay. When I got older, like past school, my mom would go out buying clothes, and she would get me either very short or very long. I didn't do in between. Now I like very long clothes as well, right? I like very short, I like very long. I really like in between. The very long ones now. Say for example, I remember clearly I'm walking this long skirt. It's like what is the fabric again? Like the t-shirt fabric. It's like a two-piece, the top and the thing. I mean, and God gave me a little bit of hips, you know. He left me behind like a Bix, but he gave me a little bit of hips.
Right.
You understand? So I'm swinging the little hips I have walking, and I was walking braless, and guy walks up to me and say, "All your lights on, man." I said, "I paid my dumb leg bill." And I moved along.
At that time, what were you an adult already? Or?
Yes, I was. That happened to me. That happened to me like a few months ago.
Right.
A few months ago, you know.
Some people don't know how to approach people, but we
and that comes with the training and the teaching.
Right. But then you need we coming back to the conversation we were having. It's like, you know, some parents need to we need to train our kids as to what is cool and what is not cool. Just because you see it on TV and you see the celebrities dress up, you know, doing the kind of thing and have all their body outside, doesn't mean that you have to do it too.
You have to do it too. Right.
If you're a child, just be a child. Just because you see it on TV. And I put the blame on a lot of these artists as well, because these artists in Hollywood put out a lot of things, and we take our cue from what is seen to be trending. And I think, like, once we teach our kids to walk half naked, they're gonna think it's cool to be half naked all the time. And it's not cool, because you have a lot of predators, out there on social media, on just walking on the streets, and in some of them in institutions, and you cannot just offer up your children to these guys. Teach our kids about modesty. Try to be, let our kids be open with us, so that they can come and say, "Mommy, that person said, look, this that person said to me," or "Daddy, look, that person come and say to me."
This is what I wanted to get to.
Yeah, I think we need to be open with our children, so that our children can come up to us and let us know what is going on and what that person say, and if somebody touch you inappropriately, come and talk about it right away.
Because when in 2024, around the summer of 2024, a young lady calls me and tells me, at the time she was 12. She was 12. And she didn't call me, but I met her. We had a conversation, and she's like, I asked my mommy about sex. She told me I'll learn it in school, and what I have to come and ask her those things for. And I too young for that. I said, but she's 12. Something in my mind, but she's 12 years old. But I don't want to be out of place and go and give the child the. So, anyways, I had a contact with one of the teachers, so I asked the teacher. The teacher agreed with the mother.
The teacher what? The
teacher was on the mother's side.
Really?
So I said, okay, I'll meet that child again, but I don't want to come around the school for. So I met her. Had a nice little talk. So we took it in stages, and I explained to her, somebody has to, because they're going to look for the answers elsewhere. And guess what? The elsewhere is not the ideal place for them.
There is no guarantee that the elsewhere going to be the correct answer.
And another thing, Kenty, we tend to look at just the men. But there are a lot of female, let me use our colloquial term, escamote out there.
Really?
Yes. There are female ones just as well.
They like those young boys. They like
exactly. They tend to think it's only a girl can get raped. And if a guy gets raped, he was sodomized. But the females can rape a man.
So there are younger. You mean there are older women that tend to go after these younger?
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about weak cougars.
No,
I'm talking about underage guys, like a 16 or 15
a minor.
Let's say a minor.
Right.
You know, it does happen.
But you know, society tend to normalize that, which is bad, because if it's bad for the goose, it's bad for the gander.
Exactly.
If you know,
it's like lesbians and gays. Some guys will say, "Boy, I rather see them two man. We were two man that is nasty. It's the same damn thing. It's the same sex thing. You get what I'm saying? Wrong is wrong. Is wrong is wrong.
Right.
You know. So.
But, yeah, you cannot. We need to definitely touch on the women that is that is not giving the young boys a chance to grow too.
Exactly.
You know, how do you call that? How would you classify that type of
it's
stuff?
in pedophilia.
Pedophilia.
Yeah, it's the
so
same.
they're women pedophiles.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I kind of knew that. I didn't know it's the same term. I think it's pedophilia.
Well, if there's a different term for it, I would. Yeah, I haven't learned it as yet, but.
That is quite sad. But I mean, well, you have to let them kids grow, man. Let the children grow.
Exactly.
Give the children a chance. Let them grow up. And
I mean, there was a case some time back. I think that particular case was in the U.S. where the teacher got pregnant by her 14-year-old student.
The teacher got pregnant for a 14-year-old student.
The teacher was jailed. She had the child. I think her family took the child. Or the child was given up for adoption or some kind of child like that. But when these people do these things, especially if a teenage girl is raped or sexually abused or whatever, and the girl becomes pregnant, you know, it's against the law for that girl to have an abortion.
In Dominica? Oh, they have anti-abortion laws in the country, right?
Yeah. So here's the thing: it has to be life-threatening for it to be a legal abortion. You know what I'm saying? But we jumping off the horse a little bit. But just look at the long-term effects that this is going to have on the child, the child sexual abuse that this is going to have on that young lady. She's stigmatized. She can't go back to school. Well, now it's a little easier because you can do online school, etc., etc., etc. Are you going to have a relationship with that man as the father of that child? How's that even going to be like? You get what I'm saying?
I cannot fathom that scenario because that is a very sensitive subject to touch on. I mean, if I had a daughter that was abused by a man, it would be very difficult for me to and first of all, a minor especially get pregnant for somebody that raped. It's a very sensitive thing.
It is.
But I would say for the men that doing that type of thing, if you are trapped, you need to fix yourself. Stop. There is nothing in a minor that you need to be chasing after.
Thank you.
A woman supposed to try to help you to be a better person. A minor cannot do that for you. You need to get yourself a woman. Or go and let a priest or somebody do an exorcism over your head because something wrong with you. You need to be go for. There's
we are blue soap.
Go in a laboratory and bathe with something. But
hit your head on a stone a couple times.
Leave them people children alone. Leave kids. If somebody you find out, no matter how she looks. I mean, like we said earlier, kids tend to look more full up now than they used to back in the day. But as long as you find out that person is a minor, I mean, I have situations where, being overseas, you go out, you're in a club or you outside the club. They cannot get in the club, but people outside of the club, you see the person. The moment you realize, you cannot get in. So there is a thing that happens in the US where people, you can, from 18, you can do what you're doing, but you cannot drink until you're 21.
Right.
So that's how you know who is eligible to drink and who is above and below 21. If you look at somebody drinking, or if you look at who can get in the club. So if they cannot get in the club, there's a high possibility they are not 18. Yes, run away from those.
Right.
So if you know this person is not, bro, is not at that age, bro, just walk away. Turn around, walk away. Don't. You will get caught. You will
definitely get caught.
So and at some point it's gonna thing, and you're gonna get yourself tied up. So if it's a minor, brothers,
Leave it
walk away.
alone.
Artists, for all the artists out there, you know, I know we have a lot of things right now. Buyo is a thing
Yes.
that's going out there in the world right now.
Right.
Artists going out. There's a lot of young girls that might be gravitating towards our artists.
And
We
if
need to-
your dance is bend over and
man,
shake your bam
right.
bam.
So be cautious, you
Right.
know, be very, very cautious as to who all you go and who all you think on and with, because at the end of the day, bro, we get if the Buyo name is getting up there, that means there is a higher risk of people targeting you
Right.
as an artist.
Right.
So I see we have a lot of celebrity artists now in Dominica. All our artists need to be cautious, be careful,
True.
watch yourself, and if the child is a minor, leave her alone.
Right. But here's this though. There needs to be the education. You see, we have adult education classes, right? For
Right.
people to learn to read, write, for people to learn different skills, etc. I think that sex education should be on the curriculum for adult education. And I think as well, when these guys are jailed, there should be some sort of reform for them. It's not just go jail and play gangster. You get what I'm
come
saying?
back
And then
out
come out and say, oh, I take jail already. I can do whatever.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? In the schools, HFLE is not enough.
I agree.
The little HFLE about nuclear family and single family, that is not enough. You need to go into, like I was saying, the child went to talk to a teacher and the teacher sided with the child, with the parent.
Right.
You know, teachers who should be trained to teach the children. I mean, get into it and have the conversation. How you call it, the birds and the bees? Okay, good. One teacher had reported me to the principal just because I spoke to my child early. My first one wanted to know what was going on with my tummy, telling me I'm eating too much and I'm getting fat. I told her I have a baby there. She told me, you ate the baby, mommy? You know? So I had to explain. I didn't want the child to think I was some sort of creature that ate my child and then
Right.
So I had to explain. The next day she went to school and she said, my mommy had sex and she has a baby in her tummy now. So the teacher, the sub-teacher, went to report to the principal. And when I came to school the afternoon, the principal called the three of us in and the principal scolded her and said, but what you come and report her to me for? You should be thanking her.
But it's
There's
your job.
one child less for you to teach.
It's your job as the parent to teach that to your. Yeah,
Precisely.
why do parents feel like you have to leave your
it's taboo.
responsibility to a teacher?
Like it's taboo.
A teacher is basically part of the public education or private education system, but it is your job as the
It's your
parent.
job as the parent. You are the
to-
primary
you're the
teacher.
first teacher, you know.
You're the first teacher of that child.
That's true.
I am petri, I swallow a red bean.
People telling their children they fall down from tree.
Yes.
They open
You
coconuts
fall-
and thing,
yes.
and they come out inside
What
a
I-
coconut.
yes.
In 2025.
Yes.
Come on, man. I mean, we have to teach our kids. And if you notice in the Caribbean, children recently when we studied after COVID, you notice there is a lot of kids that was exposed to tablets.
Right.
So these kids starting to have a different mindset. Even the lingo, the way they talk
Yeah.
is different now. But back in the day, if you notice what was happening in the Caribbean, kids was a lot more oblivious to things.
That is true.
And the kids in the US and Europe was always more advanced.
Right.
Because they always open up their children to certain things. They teach them certain truths. They teach them
Yeah.
about certain things. While we in the Caribbean was always trying to hide things
Hide
from our
everything.
children. I think we need to be more open with
And
our
you see
children.
the whole thing that pushes the kids into a sexual relationship faster. We have no dating culture in Dominica.
None.
So a young man cannot take a young lady out for ice cream or a walk, you know, or have a meal.
Right.
No, they have something. There is sex going on. What did us use? The akin. Okay, good. I cannot pronounce the first letter. Good.
I mean,
You know
But-
that is all they're concerned about. As long people cannot have a male and a female, and right now even a male and a female cannot have a platonic relationship. We
without
cannot be
people
friends.
thinking that it's
There has
more
to
than
be
that.
something more.
That is very, very sad, man.
Yeah.
It's very sad that you cannot have it. I mean, people having professional relationships all the time. It doesn't matter, you know. But we have to teach our children about these things early into. I mean, an 11-year-old, 12-year-old supposed to already know what is going on. First of all,
I mean, kids start their periods by age 9.
so how is that the child don't know what is happening to her yet?
Thank you.
You know, and then I mean I blame the parents for that, because the parents supposed to be able to teach your children about certain things, and not to make your children have to go out there and try to discover this and discover. I mean, Christopher Columbus died a long time. You know what? Discovering.
Thank you.
You know, just discover. Teach your children.
Discovery Channel.
Yeah, not Discovery Channel.
Discover
Teach the children from home. Let the children know what is going on, so that they are not oblivious to the things that is happening to them.
So true.
And then when a man come and say, or a woman come and say X, Y, and Z, I know.
That is why I could tell the man I paid my Domlec bill.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? Right. We have to teach our children, and we also have to teach them some of the things to expect, especially with young ladies. Some of the things that they can expect men to say to them, or when I say men, the opposite sex to say to them.
Right.
Get what I'm saying? So you know now.
You mean you're talking in terms of things that are appropriate and inappropriate?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So if a guy tells you about your light bulbs, you know to tell him you pay your Domlec bill. You know those kind of things.
Yes.
If somebody tells you something, you know what to answer and you know what not to answer to.
Right.
You teach them. You teach them how to be confident. You teach them how to learn what their goals, their objectives are. You start that kind of trend, and then you will eliminate that common behavior we see happening.
Yes. And some, without cutting you off, some fathers tend to alienate their relationship with their daughters. I mean, if you have a daughter, you should be able to tell your daughter that she's pretty. Don't make her feel like another man, because if another man come and tell her that she's pretty, her daddy already told her.
Exactly.
You know, so at the end of the day, men, I think, Caribbean men especially, they don't know how to, or we are now starting to learn how to be treat your daughter.
Separate platonic from sexual.
Right.
And some mothers too are keeping their daughters away from their fathers, because they figure, why did man have to kiss the child on her cheek or on her lip or on her forehead or on whatever?
Yeah, so that some mothers can be very vindictive. I mean, I don't know if it's because they are especially if it's a single mother.
Yeah.
If the relationship between she and the father has broken off at some point, and she trying to spite the man or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But I don't think any mother should keep their children away from their father.
With exceptions, because there are some fathers who are malbous and they would treat the child like it's their woman. So I understand.
Well,
perfectly.
that case,
in some situations, yes.
In that case, it's the same education thing again. We teach the children like
right.
It doesn't matter who it is. If that person do this or that person
that you're
do
not
that,
comfortable with,
and if it's right, you need to say something. Yeah. And I think once you teach your child to be open with you, I don't think anybody will mess around with you.
Right now, I can sit down and have any kind of conversation with my kids.
Yeah, man. I sit
and they're comfortable talking to me about.
I've been talking with my son from my first son.
Yeah.
I mean, I talking to my son long before. When my son had his first beer, I had it with him.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, my friends would say to me, you having a beer with your son? And I was like,
why not?
You think I prefer him to be on the streets having beers with his partners and acting the fool?
Exactly.
When I can be here having a beer with my son.
Exactly.
You know, so.
And there you teach control.
Of course.
I would get a little shot of something, a little bit of wine.
Yeah, you teach your son how to be a man, how to be a gentleman. You know, you don't have to be a gatiwas. You can have a beer and chill, but then learn to conduct yourself as a man and with respect.
Exactly.
You know, and respect, because you have mothers, you have cousins. You need to respect women. You cannot be. Hey girl, come over there and if the girl don't answer you,
that thing.
You know, that is immature. And I think we need to teach our sons and our young men the art of respecting women.
That is true.
One of the things women and men need to learn too is that if you're in a relationship with a woman and she doesn't respect her father, she don't gonna respect you. One, if you young women in a relationship with a man that have no respect for his mother, he cannot have respect for you. So that is the first red flag you need to check as in relationship wise. If the woman don't respect her father, she can respect you. The man don't respect his mother, he can respect you. Or any woman that it was in his part of his life, in his upbringing.
Yeah.
he can't respect those women, he will never respect you.
Right.
And that is some things that we need to, take very seriously.
That is true. That is true. But it all starts with education.
Definitely.
It's all and we need a whole revolution, in terms of what was the norm that should no longer be the norm. It comes.
But how do you unlearn something that has been so accepted in society for so
slowly
long?
with time. But it takes all of us working together in tandem to make it work.
I agree.
Yeah. So
in as much as it might be a challenge, it's possible.
it is possible. I mean, anything is possible under the sun.
Most definitely.
And even under the moon too.
Yes.
You understand? But we all have to work together. I mean, it's not only one set to wear polo. All of us have to wear the polo too, you understand? And make the change, make a conscious change. Parents, start by talking to your children. Sit down, realize that the things I used to let slide, my children saw it, and they may pick up the same behaviors. Break the cycle, isn't that what they call it? Breaking the cycle. So
if it's not okay, teach them that it's not okay.
Exactly. Wrong is wrong. Wrong can never be right. All right, but it's about time we get out of here, Kenty. The little maga is just opening the door, coming in, ready to put us out. It's now time for the flow hour. So, folks, thank you so much for joining us. Kenty, thank you so much for joining us in the studio.
It's a pleasure.
All right, and thank you to those of you on the live, on the frequencies. It's absolutely been our pleasure. Until tomorrow. Tomorrow is Vent Day, so we look forward to hearing from you, your thoughts, your views, your fans. Toodles, bye-bye.